Hello and welcome, and thank you very much for joining me again in the studio. It is Easter Monday, and as you can see, I have got my brace on again. Yeah, my hand is still no better. I don't know what I've done.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time.
I thought today we'd have a little bit of orange in the painting. So I got some mid yellow and I got some cadmium red. I've got a bit of hooker's green, some ultramarine blue, some white burnt umber black, and DIOXAZINE purple. So the reason I want to put some purple in is I thought that would be a nice contrast. So yeah, what I'm going to do with this painting is I'm going to create a painting, and then I'm going to go and ask ChatGPT if it will turn it into an image for me. And my friend Jason Bowen said that it's a fun thing to do. So I'm going to give it a whack. I'm going to see what can happen if I paint a painting now, and I'll ask ChatGPT if it'll turn it into a thumbnail for me, and we'll see where we go. So if you see the thumbnail and it looks slightly different to what I painted, then that's why. So you might be thinking, wow, okay, it's not like the painting, but I don't know what it's going to look like until I've done it. So let's get some white in the sky and some blue. I'm going to do some sort of a sunsetty sky today. I'm putting a lot of white in because I want to put some clouds in the sky. There we go. And I've never used AI before, so I've been playing around with it. I've made myself into an action figure. So I've got the gist of how it works. So and that's a lie if I said I've never used it before. I have used it a little bit, so just to get used to it. But there we go. So I'll put a bit of this in the sky. I wanted a little bit of blue there, just showing through. I don't know where I'm going to be putting the orange yet, but I want that blue to show through. Blue and orange are really good colors, really good complementary colors. So let's get that down. I've got an idea today. I've got an idea, maybe if I do a mountain or something like that. Now painting that sky in but there is just reminded me of something Bob Ross would do. And he's a big inspiration of my life, and I got some wonderful paintings that I've done in a Bob Ross style. So if you want to go and check them out, then please go and do that, feel free. Okay, so I'm thinking of a mountain now actually. So I'm going to put the bones of that in place. I'm going to get some blue and get some black, get some burnt umber, a little bit of this DIOXAZINE purple, because I want to make a nice dark colour. And let's put what I think is going to be a mountain shape. I'm pulling that down just like that. Give a few creaks and groans. This is because I've got my studio door open. Bit of fresh air. It's lovely. Just dragging that down like that. Making this mountain maybe come down. Let's make a little bit darker colour. Same colour as I just used. I want that to come down. I want this to be quite dark on this one side. There's going to be some trees and things. I think this is going to turn into some sort of a Bob Rossi type of painting. And we'll see what ChatGPT makes of that later on. Now we could go ahead and get some white or whatever. We could make that a little bit. We could put our highlights and stuff in like this, or as you've seen me do many times before, we can get a card. So excuse me, I had a bit of a coughing fit there. We can get a card. We can pull some of this paint off just before it dries. Just like that. A little bit on this side. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it doesn't matter. We'll hide that with some trees. So why work hard? This is what I say. I don't work hard if I can help it. As long as it's effective. I don't know if you can hear that pigeon. I'm going to put a bit of orange over that in a second, I think. Just checking my cameras are all working and everything is okay. It is. Wow, I don't know what I've got stuck in my throat. I got something stuck in my throat. So, let's get a bit of green. Let's get some green there and some blue, ultramarine blue to it. I want to darken that up. Get a nice dark green. There we go. And let's put some, maybe a little bit darker than that. Add a little bit of black to it. Dun-dee dun-dee dum 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 dum. Just trying to represent maybe some fir trees and things. This is definitely turning into a Bob Ross style painting. I wasn't expecting that. A little bit of purple in there. There you go. It's going to come down in the front. Just like that. I think, yeah, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue with our green a little bit. I'll bring that sort of there like that, I think. Bringing this up. Definitely turning into a Bob Ross type of scene now. And we just covered that bit of a mistake we made. Boom, 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 boom. I like that. So far, so good. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to dry that off with a hairdryer and have a good cough, I think. Okay, so I dried that off with a hairdryer. What I want to try and do, I'm just going to make up some orange a minute. So I'm just going to get some nice piece of yellow there like that. I want this quite thin. There we go. I also want a small touch of that cadmium red. I don't want a lot, just to make a nice orange. I want to try and see if we can make a wash on what it's going to look like over that blue. Oh, that's a bit strong. Well, it's definitely there, so I just need a bit more red to it. Okay, and this is just me testing something. As you know, I paint on the fly, so I quite like the look of that. I quite like the look of that, so I'm going to continue with that wash effect. And this is a very thin wash of orange and just a little bit of water. Now, you might find if you're painting on canvas or something like that, that this will peel off. But don't be despondent, because at the end of the day, as long as you varnish your painting afterwards, you'll be absolutely fine. I'm trying to keep some of that. Blue in place like that. Bit of more orange, yellowy effect there. You can see that's picking up that green. Just get a bit more red up into the sky there. This is why I like painting on cardboard and stuff, because you're able to do washes, very thin washes like this. Okay, so we got a bit of sky there. That's good. Let's get a bit more. Let's get a bit of that red colour there, like as if that just catching a bit of redness. That's catching a bit of the yellowness. Let's get some white. A little bit of this Prussian blue. No, it's not Prussian blue, sorry, it's DIOXAZINE purple. A little bit of ultramarine blue to that. Okay, and a touch of black. That's the colour I was looking for. No, that's a bit soft, that brush, for what I want. So I'm just going to find a short flat. Moistening my brush first. Moistening the brush first, so it doesn't suck up all the paint. So moisten your bristles before you apply paint. Let's get some shadow into this sky. All I'm putting in at the moment is a little bit of what I think is shadow. Trying to keep some of that blue that I put on. There we go. Let's get some of that there. Don't be afraid to experiment with different techniques of painting and stuff. Sometimes you'll see that things don't work as well, and I paint as you see me. I haven't planned any of this, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. So it doesn't really worry me to a point where I just come out and paint just for the fun of it. I get an idea in my head and I'm thinking, yeah, well, I can paint something like that, and I go for it, and I hope that's I just get a bit of yellow. I'm gonna put some orange. Make some nice orange. Yeah, that'd be nice. Get some orange in the sky now. Building these clouds up, because that's what they are, as clouds, by the way. And I'm never afraid to try something, and I'm certainly not afraid to just paint, and you follow me, you watch me, you come along on my journey. and you see what happens. If it doesn't go well, then it doesn't go well. I'm not bothered, to be quite honest with you. That's a little bit bright, so we'll add a little bit of yellow to that. I can definitely hear them seagulls today. Maybe we are missing a little bit of white. Let's just get a little bit of brightness. So just the colour on my brush, I'm just tapping it into the white. I just want to fluff up some of these clouds. There's going to be a catch and a little bit of light. When you're painting a sky full of clouds, it can be quite hard to get the effect you're looking for. But just work with it. Work with it. You don't see, I'm not painting clouds as such, I'm just painting shapes, just letting the brush roll the paint off. Just like that. Bit of this side now. My door is creaking. That's looking quite nice. I'm liking that effect. Tell you what we are missing is if I do this, there we are. So we got, it's not perfectly round, it's okay. Oh, a bit of brightness there. Let's get that. Let's try and do that again. That's better. It's a little bit better. A little bit better. Bit of brightness there. Setting sun maybe. I don't know. Does that look like a setting sun? I don't know about this one. Things just happen in the world of Clive, unfortunately. So let's get a little bit of this bluey colour. There we are. Let's get some start in there, and maybe that's coming down here like this. Yeah, it's definitely turning into a Bob Ross type of style painting, this one. Just chuck some colours in there like that. Boom, 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 boom. I know that yellow and blue is going to mix and go a little bit greeny, but that's okay. We can live with it. We can live with that. We certainly can. Nice lot of colours in there. That's good. I like let's get a little bit of this green, lighten it up with a little bit of yellow. No, maybe a little bit darker than that. There we go. Yeah, let's get that dark colour. Let's get that dark colour there. Maybe boom 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 boom. That dark colour in there. So we need a little bit of ultramarine blue, bit of burnt umber. We're going to put our rocks in place. I always got a couple of nice rocks somewhere. This is just blocking out, so don't worry if you think it's a bit wishy-washy in places. It's okay, because all we're doing is just putting a little bit of background colour, shadowy colour, that type of stuff. All we're trying to do is build up a foreground, midground, trying to get some shadows in place. Once you painted scenes like this, you could take this on to an oil painting if you wanted to. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get some yellow. I'm going to dry this off in a second. Because what's happening now is I'm picking up paint that hasn't dried yet. And that is not what I want now. So I need a nice dry layer to paint on. But I'm just going to get in a few shadows and things. Just into this water now. Just like this. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Nicely done. Nice bit of shadow. There. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry that off with a hairdryer, check everything is working, and I shall be back in a tick. I absolutely love coming in the studio and doing some painting on a weekend. It's one of my favourite things to do, besides from my model making, which I do. And I'll talk a little bit about that now as I progress with this painting, because my grandson has now got into it, and I don't know if anybody knows what Warhammer is. Well, I certainly didn't know till Daniel said, "Bumpy, you want to really have a go at this Warhammer stuff?" And I thought, well, I'll give it a go, you know, because I've been making what I would call military telly models for quite a while. And well, a lot of my life actually I've been playing with or making models like that of aircraft and tanks and things like this, which I find very it's one of my hobbies, basically. That's all it is, one of my hobbies. So I'm just trying to put a little bit of bushes and things in front, just to separate those two areas together. And I need to just get a little bit of yellow there. I'm going to add a little bit of white to it, just to try and sparkle it up a touch. There we go. I'm just going to clean my brush 1 second with a bit of tissue paper. There we go. A bit more yellow, I think. There we go. Yeah, so going on back what I was saying, he's introduced to me to this Warhammer making. I'm loving the miniatures at the moment that I'm doing, and I've not played the game yet, but to all accounts and purposes it's supposed to be really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm doing a bit more because he's definitely inspired me, Daniel, because he's 14 going on 30 at the moment. Which is good. Let's get some right, just get some of this colour, nice dark colour. I want to put a nice tree there. There we are. It's a nice big fir tree. This is definitely turning into a Bob Ross style painting now. There's seals out there today. Another tree there. We'll put another one just there. Just like that. Okay, let's get I've got a small thin brush. That's better. A little bit of a top of it. Let's get my palette knife. Put a bit of highlight on that trunk. There you go. You can see that trunk there now. Let's get some grass now, just in front. Just like that. Just tapping the brush down. Just get a bit of that yellow colour, because that's going to be catching that light of the sun. Just like that. We could get a little bit of slightly lighter colour. So I'm just using the colour that's on my brush, and I'm just adding just a touch of yellow to it. And what I want to do is try and just touch a little bit of colour into this tree. Just like that. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how the AI would turn this. Oh, look at what I've done. See, I don't hide any mistakes. So I'm going to get a bit of tissue paper and a little bit of water on it. Just wash that off there like that. And get in, do my repair job. There we go. Let's just get a touch of this yellow now, just on the side of my brush. Just glint in some light through maybe. There we go. There we are. It's quite a dark painting today. Like I said, this wasn't planned. So you were coming on the journey with me. I'm not going to sing the song because my singing is terrible. A bit more of this yellowy light coming through that water like that. I don't quite like the a bit blue, a bit more blue up there, I think. A bit darker blue, bit darker blue, bit of darker blue. Bit more shadow up there. Bit of shadow coming down then. Just like that. We get, where's my brush? Let's get a nice thin paint. Nice thin paint. Just put a bit of a water line. Just coming down there. We'll put a bit of a water line here. There we are. And a bit more broken line then, very thinly, just like that. Get the brush. Oh, it's just dried out a little bit quicker than I thought it would. It's quite warm in here today actually. Makes a change. Oh, that's good. There we go. Okay, that's coming together quite nicely. I quite like it so far. We need something this side. So what I thought we'd do with this side. Let's clean this brush. I'm only using a couple of different brushes today. Let's do something fun. Let's do something fun. Let's get some orange. And let's just put some orange trees in. Not orange trees, trees that are orange. Maybe just catching a bit of light there. There we go. That's looking quite nice already. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, quite like that. Maybe that's what's happening, is that light is just zinging along there and warming up that side and making it look all orangey, basically. A bit too much red there. Yeah, I like that. That's certainly making it look nice. Put a few marks in, just like that. Let's get this greeny cover. Let's just turning it slightly greener now. Coming down. Tappy tap 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 tap. Not working hard. Don't need to work hard. Absolutely not. Nobody works hard in my paintings, let alone me. I don't believe in working hard. I'm just having fun and just trying to create something that's a little bit more relaxing. There we go. That's looking quite nice. I quite like that. This bit of brightness in the. That's too much. This bit of brightness there is looking pretty good. Let's put a few bits of twigs and things just catching the light there like that. I'll add a bit more to that in a second. We can get our brush. Brushy brush. I need a small brush. Will that work? Will that work, I ask myself. I don't know. That's gone quite hard. Well, that's another brush for the bin. Let's chuck that in there. I can't recover that one. That's gone a little bit bad. So let's put some rocks in this water. Like that. Definitely a Bob Ross type of style today. Pulling that down and like that, create a bit of shadow in the water. Getting a little bit of moisture on the brush. Pulling a few of these shadow marks in like this. Okay. Getting our brush. Putting a bit of water of a line around these rocks now just to bed them in, just like this. And we can fill a few streaks across there. I'm liking this one today. Actually, I quite like it. I tell you what we could do now is we could add a little bit more brightness. Let's just get a little bit of white. Let's add a little bit more brightness to these trees a bit. There we go. It's like there's a bit of light coming through there like that. I quite like that today. I'm really happy with that actually. So I think I'm going to call that done. I'm going to put a few birds in, as I normally do. A couple of eagles or buzzards or whatever you want to call them. Am I happy with that? Yes, I am. I'm quite happy with that today. I'm quite happy. Very happy, in fact. Let's just put a few more bits of shadow in, just like this. And as you can see, I follow around about the same type of themes. We can put flowers in if you wanted to. When you're painting for fun, then just paint for fun. Don't worry about what things look like, and it's all about enjoyment, actually. Just about enjoyment and just about relaxing, coming into the studio, having a bit of fun, kicking back and just thinking, what can I create today out of my imagination? Well, as you can see. So I'm going to take a photograph of that now and put it on ChatGPT and see if it will give me some sort of a thumbnail. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio. Have fun and I'll see you next week. Ow. Bye.